Hey, Team Happy and Fit. It is so good to be back with you. This is honestly my favorite day, my favorite Zoom. This Zoom best practices has brought me so much joy over the last few months because one, we get to connect, grow together, but two, I honestly have this deep desire to just teach you what's been working for me. I love that other leaders are on this call and that they've been leading it, they've been stepping in, answering questions, being present and fully here as well. I think our team is super unique and the best. And the reason being is we truly have this desire to empower other people to be better. And that's an amazing mission to be a part of. It's really, really cool. A couple of housekeeping things. Our team store is open. Thank you, Morgan Brill. I know you guys have all been waiting for that. She has always decided to run that, get that going. So special shout out to her. You have a limited time. It's in the team page to get any Team Happy and Fit stuff. And there's extra stuff on there that I'm really excited about. 2 headbands to choose from and a shaker cup. So I was excited to see that and some other things. Next thing, Team Cup is happening. Raise your hand if you're on a Team Cup. Congratulations. I believe, I don't know if it's just for Carl's group. Carl's running this group. If you didn't get an invite to it, it's okay. I'm going to share best practices from there. But by the 12th, if you help 2 people with a challenge pack, you are going to be getting a Brenda Burchard book. And then also with Team Cup or not on Team Cup, if you hit Success Club, you get an umbrella. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about the umbrella. And then Team Cup is a collaboration. It can feel nerve-wracking to be on a team and you get those little updates and then you're like, crap, I'm still at 0 and everyone else is at 5,000. I suck, right? It's really easy to get in that mentality. That is not what Team Cup is. Team Cup is to collaborate, to grow, to learn. Does that make sense? Not to compare. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Something that's working for me is I have been talking about my Busy Woman Bootcamp every single day. Sometimes I get out of habit of not putting call to actions on my posts and not to share genuine stories and not to share it frequently. There's such a minimal amount of people who see your posts. So if you talk about it every single day, someone will see it. It is happening for me. I have sent out so many canned responses today because I've gone live every day this week. It's only Tuesday, so 2 times, about our group, our Busy Woman Bootcamp. On my Instagram stories, I've made invites. On an Instagram post, I made an invite. And then on regular Facebook stuff, I've made invites. Special huge shout out to Morgan Schaefer. She's already at SC6. And I was like, what's your secret? Share it with me. And I put secret in quotation marks because obviously I was being sarcastic because I don't believe that there are secrets to this business. And she said, Julian, there really is no secret. I just followed up like you've told me to do. And literally my SC6 is from all follow-ups. Meaning, let's break that down for a second. Follow-ups meaning people who've told her no. Do you know how the average person wouldn't go back to someone after they told them no? Or it was someone who's like, not yet. Or someone who ghosted her. I bet one of those people were someone who didn't respond back. How many of you have not gone back to the people who've ghosted you and have told you no? I'm telling you, there's fortune in the freaking follow-up. I'm going to be teaching you Google Streak next week. I implemented it today because my good friend Brittany McMillan does it and she's a freaking genius, 1. 2, I was listening to a video on Melanie Mitra today and she's like, if you're using paper and pen, you're wasting your time. And I was like, as I had my paper and pen of invites, I was like, awesome. Top coach 4 years in a row. Great. Very cool. Glad I'm wasting my time. And I've been using Google Streak today. And it has been so awesome. I thought it was really complicated and it's not. Now I'm addicted to it. Literally, you guys, okay, I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to teach you it next week. Sound good? Trust me that I'll teach it to you and that it's going to empower you and you're not going to feel overwhelmed. In fact, for those of you who are losing people, you're not good at following up, all these crazy things are happening, it's going to help you feel more confident and you'll want to get more emails and you'll want to get more people on your Google Streak. Oh, that was a weird little bubble thing I had in my throat. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. I'm going to take a drink of water. Thanks for sticking with me. And then Success Club. Make it a non-negotiable. I had so much conviction. I'm going to share some huge takeaways I had over the last few days. But I was thinking about Success Club, and I was like, I really love it. I don't think it's everything in this business. I do not. I do not think it's everything. But I think it's really important. I think the reason it's important, it is so vital for you all to be getting new blood into your business. It is the thing that brings me joy in this business is helping new people, like helping new coaches, helping new challengers get started. It is so fun. It's like the first day of school when you have that nervous kid walking into your classroom, and you get to be the person that gets to help them walk them through that process of becoming more confident. So maybe you're looking at Success Club as this big scary thing because you've never hit it before. It is a new month. I want to teach you how to confidently hit it. But another thing I was thinking about with Success Club, along with helping people, it's going to cover the cost of your Shakeology. And then after that, it's going to put $150 into your pocket. And then after that, it's going to put $300 into your pocket on top of covering the cost of your Shakeology. Because you want to know something? I've always had a limited mindset about money. I always thought there was never going to be enough. And the reason I have thought that, and I can share that with you, is because I grew up really poor. I grew up with not having enough. Literally, you would open up my fridge and it would be bare. My mom worked freaking hard, and I need to tell you guys this too. My mom still to this day works 2 jobs. That can make me honestly cry, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But I have to tell you something. It is freaking on my heart that you guys don't have limitations in your life because of finances. And maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have that limitation. But what if you could help 10 more people join this team and then they don't have that limitation in their life? You need to stop thinking about just you, and you need to think about the people you can help. Because I've said yes to this opportunity, because Sarah has said yes to this opportunity, many coaches on our team are experiencing so much success financially. I cannot even begin to describe to you the feeling that's giving me. Knowing that it's not stopping with me, and that this gift is just the gift that keeps on giving. That I feel more successful when I make other people more successful. So Success Club to me isn't this scary thing that's going to hold me back. It's the thing in the gateway, this golden ticket to you experiencing not having limitations in your life. But beyond that, you are literally allowing yourself to help someone else not have those limitations. And when you start to think like that, you start to become more aligned with the mission and vision of this business, and you stop making it just about what you can and cannot do. It starts becoming more about them. And that is why I think Success Club is so vital. Are you with me? Like, did you just like have an aha gut check of, dang it, why do I look at this as in my own eyes of, oh, I can't do this, and I put these limitations on myself? Give yourself the gift of follow through, and give yourself that gift of making hard things happen. Sometimes Success Club is hard, and the reason it's hard for me sometimes is because I didn't put in effort. It's the truth. When I'm struggling in my business, it's because I'm lacking and slacking. I just had this conversation with the coach today. She said, man, I lost the joy in coaching for a little bit. And then she went on to say how she was off track with her workouts. And I said, that's why you've lost the joy in coaching for a little bit. Coaching is self-care. If you're not connected to your self-care, you're not going to have joy in coaching. It is vital that you take care of yourself. But Success Club, you guys, is so much more, because if this has changed your life, imagine what it's going to do to other people. I've lost 35 pounds. If I could help 10 more people lose 35 pounds, that's crazy. If I can help 10 more women gain confidence and not be addicted to the scale and check it 3 times a day, man. Nikki Touch had an amazing, convicting post today about her story, and I was like, I can't help but think that helped someone today. It's incredible what we can do. And yes, you may not be where you want to be yet, but that's the beauty in this journey. People don't join you based on your results. They join you on this process. They join you right now. They join you because they connect to where you are at the very moment. If you can find a way to connect with someone, they're going to join you. And it all starts with that connection and conviction. You have to rise above your limitations. You have to rise above those roadblocks. Today I got an objection, sort of, and it really made me mad. So of course I went live about it. That's just how I am, right? I don't know if it made me mad, but it definitely was like irritating a little bit. And it's fine if she sees this recording. She's not a coach, but maybe she will be one day. It's just what it is. It's going to be straight talk, right? She said, Sarah, she said, I love Zumba, but I hate at-home workouts, but I want to know more information. And I sent her a voice message and I said, hey, I would love to send you more information, but you got to meet me somewhere. I feel like you're putting roadblocks and hesitations and objections before even knowing what this can do for you. And I need to tell you, you already have one up on me, because when I first started this journey, I hated working out. And the fact that you love Zumba, like if someone like me can do this, like, and someone like you could do this then, right? And I was like, and I need to tell you, I've helped tons of women lose lots of weight. I've helped women that have gained confidence. I've helped tons of women who are just like you, who thought the very same thing you're thinking now. And I don't think that they have anything more special than you. I think they just chose to not put limitations in their way. I said that to her. I don't know if she'll respond back, but it was the truth. I was like, stop doing that. Like, no, I'm not going to work with someone who's already limiting themselves. I want to work with someone who's willing to overcome, right? I want to work with someone who's willing to not make excuses. I want to work with someone who's genuinely interested and not like already putting like, no, but I want to know more because I have FOMO. I'm sure that's what it is. Nope, sorry. I'm working with serious-minded people who are willing to overcome. And I had to share that with her. She'll join me. I know it. Okay. So this last week, Eric and I went to London, and it was amazing. It was really cold, but it was really, really good. And the beauty of going to London was this. We had limited Wi-Fi. We hardly had any Wi-Fi. We had it at our Airbnb. But otherwise, we were running around the city and seeing all these things. But it really gave me an insane time to unplug, and it gave me time to think and reflect. I need you to know this. On our trip to London, we worked out. We ate pretty well. I did have a really awesome piece of cake, though. I'm not going to lie. It was amazing, and I posted about it, and my mouth still waters when I look at it. It was so worth it. I had one glass of wine out of all the days I was there. I think that is like pretty amazing. But my point is, I still showed up for myself in this business. I still posted on social media every single day, even though I was out of the country, right? I think a lot of coaches make excuses. They don't want it bad enough. I want this. I'm hungry for this. This has changed my life way too much, right? So anyway, I unplugged a lot. And so my point in reflection on that was I had a lot of insane moments where I really had a lot of gut checks myself, and I'm going to share those with you. But I think it's really important to get away. And I'm not saying go to London. I'm just saying I think it's really important to unplug. Not to unplug so you can watch TV all night. I think a lot of coaches utilize the word unplug for excuses. I think a lot of coaches utilize and lean on unplug because they need to be more present, but really they're less present than they were if they were plugged into their phone. So there's a major difference if you're with me. I know I say it how it is. I know a lot of times you're like, dang, Julian, how do you get up? Are you like, I get so many coaches who message me and they're like, were you talking about me? Like a lot of my own PS coaches, they'll say that. I was like, no, but I'm glad it spoke to you. And the reason I can talk like that is because I've had the same gut checks. Does that make sense? So anyway, when I say unplug, I mean fully. Like you are not watching TV and on the couch, but you really are in a state of reflection. You are just growing in that way. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you. One, I was reading Girl Code, and I finished it. This is a really amazing read. It's a quick read. I've read it in less than a week. I read every day while on vacation, and I was addicted to it. I was addicted to the growth, and it's so good. And something that I realized this is you all are a bunch of liars. And the reason I think you guys are all a bunch of liars is because I did an Instagram poll. Hopefully some of you took it. And I said, when you find yourself comparing, do you guys remember this? If you took the poll, I think y'all are liars. Do you show love or do you get jealous? And so many of the wonderful coaches on the team, they're like, we show love. I was like, yeah, to the people you like, right? I was like thinking about it because I was like, man, I've gone on this journey of like 4 years of like self-improvement, but I still get jealous. I've been on this year of self-growth and like I've become so much stronger, but man, do I struggle with comparison still. It's not near at the level as it was when I first started coaching. It is definitely minimized, and I've learned how to, when that triggers in my brain, to course correct. So y'all are liars saying the first thing you do is show self-love. I know there is parts and pieces of you that get jealous and it stops you in your tracks and you get stuck and you get frustrated and you get all these types of feelings. So I'm going to throw that out there. Can we say, oh, crap, Julian, you only had 2 choices on that poll. If you would have gotten a little bit more specific, I would have picked the more specific thing, right? But it got me thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, like I still struggle with that. Why don't I talk about that? Well, Julianne, you struggle with two things. And I made a post about this, and this is the reflection I had. I struggle with perfectionism, and I struggle with justification. I justify not eating healthy all the time. Oh, I'll start on Monday, or, you know, it's just this one time, the 80-20, right? When really it turns into the opposite of like 20% healthy, 80% unhealthy sometimes, right? Or I justify not getting my vitals done right away. I justify not getting my workout done. I'm just throwing things out there of what things you might justify to not better yourself. So I justify it. Or, you know, I'm bloated on my period, or this, it couldn't have been the cake, right? When I was taking my after picture, couldn't have been that. You know, it's this or that. Like if I'm not lining myself up with perfection unintentionally, I'm justifying. I didn't hit Success Club, but you know what? I tried really hard. Did you? Like, did you? I know what trying hard looks like, and I know what it's like to be at SC0 on the last day of the month and still hit it. Like, did you? Or are you justifying not being successful because it's way harder to face the truth? I'm coming at you today, and I'm telling you, this is going to take you somewhere else. You got to trust me, okay? I'm taking you somewhere. I'm not just trying to yell at you. This was a realization that I had. Then it's this perfectionism of taking 5 different selfies and posting the best one. Talking about how I crushed every single workout when in all actuality I paused 5 times. It's going and thinking like, man, I got to be inspirational all the time. And in those split seconds of when I'm feeling jealous, I don't talk about it. Grant Cardone, I'm reading this book. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average. He's a ham. Like, he's really funny. And he's like, yeah, people think I'm egotistical. Yeah. People think that I'm selfish. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, like, give it to the guys, just being really honest. Like, he's like, I do want it all. What's wrong with that? And I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's talking about, you don't always have to like what you love. You don't always have to like what you love. And I was thinking more about that, and I was like, huh. He said he was looking at his dad who was pulling the weeds, and his dad looked so joyful. And he's like, Dad, you really love pulling the weeds? He's like, no, I hate it, but I love our family. I was like, huh. With coaching, there's going to be a lot of things you don't like in this process, but it doesn't mean you don't love it. And again, I never want you to join me because you have this unrealistic expectation. Like, there are going to be times in your business where you're freaking miserable, man. Like, you are struggling. You are just trying to get your own self together and then yet just build a business. It's freaking frustrating. Building a business, a life by design, it's going to go down more than it's going to go up. That's just what's going to happen. That's the reality. You're not going to like every single process of this. But my thing with struggling with perfectionism and justification, it's killing my authenticity. It's killing who makes me me. And that goes into my next thing, where I was like, man, I justify when I'm not doing it all right. And I make excuses for myself. But then also I'm trying to, you know, live this life of what, painting this picture unintentionally. Because it's hard for me to share when I get jealous. It's hard for me to share certain things to social media. It's hard for me to share a picture that doesn't look perfectly sculpted unintentionally, right? Like, do you accidentally suck it in on those days, right? Or, man, if I show it from this angle, or if I only use this clip of the video because the other one I was falling over. You know what I'm talking about. Why aren't you showing the one that you're a freaking hot mess? That's freaking more relatable. So I had this moment where I was like, dang it. Like, I struggle with those two things. So as we're walking through the streets of London, not kidding, I was like probably walking like this. And I was like, Eric, what makes me me? Like, who am I? Like, was the question that was going through my head. And the reason it was going through my head is because I read this chapter. I'm going to read it real fast. Stick with me. Take notes. Like, this is going to change the game for you. I swear. Want to know the quickest way to give up on all your dreams? Spend your time being jealous. And I was like, that's me. Even though I've come so far, it's hard to admit that. I'm a leader. I've done really well in this business. It's really hard for me to admit that. But man, when I can admit that, then you're going to prosper, because then you're not going to feel so different from me. sometimes I think you can think, man, like Julian's just relentless, or, this just happens. But I don't think I do a good enough job of really listening to those moments where I'm struggling. I try to powerhouse through it so I can avoid it and not hide it. When I took a picture of the cake that I ate, Eric's like, are you going to actually post that? And that was a gut check for me of like, how many times do I not post something that I did behind scenes that no one else saw except for him? And that was a moment for me. I was like, whoa, I need to be more transparent, right? We spend so much time on social media, especially entrepreneurs, which sets the stage for comparison, self-criticism, and self-doubt. And I started thinking about this because I was looking at my Instagram, and I was like, my Instagram has all the white extra space, and I was like, I got to change it. There was a moment in London where I was like, I need to have a bigger picture. Like, that's what I need to do. But I was like, that's not me. And I started wrestling with like, who am I? I'm going to get to it, and we're going to do some self-reflection. No matter how much we are proud of our own success, it's hard not to compare. It's a sign that we want something more for ourselves. So then it hit me where I was like, comparison isn't always a bad thing. It's a sign that we want more for ourselves. P.S. The chapter is called Don't Hate Her Because She's Successful. So she wanted to teach us some mind shifts into our jealousy. If she can do it, perhaps I can too. And that's where the shift needs to happen when you find yourself comparing. And what a lot of times people do is they dig themselves in the holes. I can't be like that. Because I started thinking, I was like, I need better equipment. I need a better camera. I need brighter pictures. I need more makeup. My hair needs to be done more. I'm not joking. These are all the things that ran across my head. I always wear mismatched socks and graphic tees, but I don't have these like Lululemon, like cute outfits. I don't have these nice Nikes all the time that match all my different outfits. Seriously, my mind started going there, and now I'm like laughing thinking about it. But can you relate to me? Is there moments in your life and in your business you're like, if I just had this, this is what's going to make me successful, right? Man, it was such a huge gut check for me. The trick is in channeling those feelings and using them to fuel your own fire. You've got to reframe your thinking and tell yourself, if I can have it, if she can have it, I can have it too. You've got to shift your envy into inspiration. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I need to do. Her success should prove to you only that it's totally possible. I just got goosebumps saying that out loud. Her success should prove to you only that it's totally possible. We can learn a lot when we get to the root of our emotions. We can learn a lot when we get to the root of our emotions. We often experience jealousy when we see someone moving forward in her life, especially if we feel stuck in our own. So what are you comparing? Lifestyle? Someone getting a house, someone having that baby, someone having that dog, someone living in California, someone making this much money, someone hitting this success club number, someone going emerald and they just signed up, someone having this husband. Like, what is that for you in your life? I can guarantee that as soon as you identify the real reason for your envious feelings, you'll feel lighter, clearer, and those emotions will evaporate. And I was like, dang, that's so good. And then she said, I want you to make a list of 3 women you have felt envious of. Did you guys know Sarah Freed is my success partner? And when we first started, I was really jealous of her. The way she looked, like she had it all together. She went emerald quicker. It's like funny to think about these things now. Like, she's my sister. But she was just having this massive success and I wasn't. And I do always tell that story. And I was honestly feeling super jealous. And I remember sitting down and getting frustrated out loud to Eric. And I was like, who am I? This is ridiculous. And so instead, I decided to reach out to her. And then the rest is history. Women are craving support, empowerment, and sometimes even just a smile. Oh, that's so huge, right? If you think girls suck, you're hanging out with the wrong ones. I liked that. I was like, that needs to be the title of the Zoom after this. Think about how many people outside of our team that feel that way. Do you ever see that on social media? Like, oh, all girls suck and I just want to be friends with boys. And I'm like, dude, your friends suck. Like, my friends are awesome. The girls I hang around are amazing. You can build new friendships at any age. So that's what I read. And I was like, man, this is seriously so incredible. And it just really opened my eyes because, one, I think we need to talk about this more. I think you need to talk about your inner struggles a lot more, not just your physical ones, not just your struggle in your workout, not just your struggle in whatever, but honestly talking about, because I think what happens is, but I do personal development every day, I should be here. No, I think you should seriously talk about, man, it really sucks feeling jealous. No one wants to have the jealousy award. Like, that doesn't feel good. That's not a title I want on my belt. But you know what's really cool is I'm learning to work through it. I'm learning to be more empowering. I love surrounding myself with other women who really want success for each other. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. And I think it's really important that you guys really start talking about that. And so for me, again, going back to who am I was like, I need to date myself. I know it sounds really weird, but I was like thinking about it. I was like, okay, do you know how some of you are like, I have a boring life? That was a big thing for me. I was like, so Eric's answer, I didn't tell you this. And I was like, Eric, who am I? Like, what makes me different as a coach? Like, I was putting these limitations on myself while I had so much time to think. And he said, Julian, really quickly, and maybe you guys saw this post, he said, you're just really simple and you're insanely passionate and it works. And I was like, that's so true. Because I was thinking about myself. I was like, if I had a character on a screen, what would she look like? A cartoon character? She'd be wearing a bun. She would have computer glasses on. She'd have a graphic tee and mismatched socks. She'd be wearing black or gray and probably a sweatshirt, a zip up one. And you guys are like, oh, yep, that's what Julian wears every day. And I was like, I'm just super simple. I'm not someone who loves shopping. I'm not someone who loves makeup. And if you do, I'm not putting you down, but you need to own that. If you love all that stuff, you need to talk about it. But for me, I can't, that's not me. I literally eat the same foods and I do the same thing every day and it makes me so happy and so filled up, but that's me. What makes you you? I was even thinking what are my favorite colors? What do I love? Where do I find the most enjoyment? I love candles. I genuinely really love candles. I'm a very simple person. I don't like shopping, but I love candles. And the more I got to think about this, the more excited I became of who I am and how I can honestly build a successful business being simple and boring. Truthfully. And I really think it's really important for you guys to really understand what sets you apart from other people. I don't need to make another Instagram to be set apart. I already am, if I just own my own truth. And so who are you trying to be? And if you're trying, and like I said, I struggle with perfectionism. Read John Acuff, Finish. That will help you with that. Or I struggle with justification. I justify. And there has to be something different than those two. There has to be an authentic, raw, real way to share my story without making excuses for myself, but not trying to be this perfect coach. Where if I can just share my journey, because sometimes I'm like, man, but if I don't have it together, why would someone want to join me? I still have that sometimes, and I didn't realize it until I was in England. So I think it's very vital for you all to really be like, who am I? And write that in such detail. What matters to you? What values matter to you? And that's going to set you apart. The only way you're going to be successful in this business out of 400,000 people is you knowing your truth. And stop trying to be those other people. And it's hard. A lot of times, where it's I think what made me think of it was hashtags. I don't know what hashtags to make for myself. And the more I got to think about it, the easier it became. I really just started to brainstorm, what makes me mad? What do I not like? What are my, I'm not a person to press snooze all the time, but I always lay in bed for 15 minutes every single morning. And you probably didn't know that about me unless you followed my Instagram stories. Eric gets right up. He cannot lay there. Me, I literally love just laying there for 15 minutes. And he knows that. That's just my time. Wyatt stays in bed. He doesn't even get up. And then as soon as he goes out to the bathroom, that's my dog, by the way, then he comes back, goes right back to bed. Super funny. Like we all three have these little like sleep patterns and habits. I go to bed at 8 o'clock usually every day, every night. And I wake up really early. Like those are little tweaks and weird things about me. Tweaks, not tweaks, but you know what I'm saying. Little things about me, quirks, that make me so different. Maybe some of you can relate to it, but I'm still different than you. And that's a little thing, right? So you really need to think about that. So conviction and vision, this is really huge, you guys. So when I started this business, I saw this as the bridge to freedom. I was convinced of that. And since starting this journey, that is what it's become. It's been the golden ticket. And it's not just for me, it's for you too. And you have to believe that yourself. I cannot convince you of that. For some reason, I saw it. I was like, this is the golden ticket. It's going to take me time, but I know I can do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And it's going to happen, and it's happening. And I need you to understand that you have to believe that this is the golden ticket, not to necessarily leave your job, but for you to not have those stresses in life that are money stresses. So let me tell you this story. Beachbody and mind growth, and honestly, I'm going to get personal with you. If I cry, it happens. Because of Beachbody and because of this mindset and because of grace, I've been able to restore amazing relationships in my life. I grew up in a single household. My father is an alcoholic, always the most loving human being, but not always the dad. Like Eric had the dad, the soccer dad. He was like his coach. He went to every game. Even when Eric was in college, his dad flew all the way from California to Wisconsin for 24 hours to watch one of his basketball games. My dad never showed up to anything. We left in the middle of the night, I remember, into an apartment. My mom slept on a love seat for 2 years so I could have my own bedroom. Like I have a history and a past that I don't always talk about. My brother was he was my best friend growing up, but it was conflicting because he was also really abusive. It was really conflicting. Like he loved me more than anyone, but he was really mean to me until I was in my 20s. Once I started Beachbody, I'm separating myself from you. Over the last year, we've moved mountains in our relationship. What I've realized is I can't blame my past. I can't hold on to those grudges. That's not a free way to live. Let's not. I don't need to punish anyone for the way they made me feel years ago. There's no freedom in that. So as I'm going on this journey of self-discovery, I was like, man, I've come really far. Like, I don't have those grudges. I'm not blaming anymore. Like, I'm free from that. And we've been able to restore our relationships. I'm close with my dad, even though he's not that dad. You know what I'm saying? But the man is so full of love. It's crazy. He's seriously the most loving person on earth. It's just growing up, he chose his friends and going out than being home with us. I can't blame him from that. But man, he's taught me a lot about being happy. And that man will never talk about anyone. He is so kind and loves all people, right? Cannot blame him for the type of dad he was and wasn't. But I can look at his characteristics and really admire that, right? I don't know if you can do that with your father. Maybe not. Maybe they honestly are a terrible person. But there has to be someone in your life that you don't have to just blame anymore and you can restore. So with my brother, he got married and to the most amazing girl, and she's made him a better person, I swear it. And we have worked on a relationship and it's been amazing. And I'm so thankful for that forgiveness. And I'm so thankful for moving forward and learning more about him. There's a point to this, I promise. Yesterday I was thinking about him and I called him. I just called him and I called him and I said, T, you've been on my heart and I just had to call you. Like, how are you? And he is about to break down in tears. I could hear it. And he said, Julian, I need to go. I'll call you after work. And I was like, okay, no problem. He calls me back. He said, Julian, I quit my job because you called me. I was like, what? And he said, I was struggling so bad that I was just asking for a sign. And you called me and you asked me about a nonprofit I wanted to start. And right after I got off the phone with you, I sent in my 2 weeks notice. So my point is this, you guys. My brother's 37 and he is nowhere where he wants to be professionally, and people were mistreating him at work and they were putting limitations on him. And I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick and tired of my family being held back because of money. I'm so freaking tired of watching people not pursue their dreams because they think they're too old in life. I'm so tired of people not just taking leaps because they're so freaking afraid. And it just always comes back to this opportunity of like, this is honestly the golden ticket. You don't have to be held back. Maybe you're not in this for the finances, but you get to help someone have that choice. Where I thought about my brother and I was like, he's 37 years old and he just feels so low. And I called him and I said, I'm so proud of you. Most people wouldn't do what you're doing. How do you feel? He's like, I feel freaking amazing. And I said, I need to tell you something. I have this big vision, and whatever it is that you want, I need you to write it down. I need you to write down your vision in life. You have to write it down in such detail, TJ. I don't care how old you are. Many people pursued dreams and became millionaires at the age of 40. Like, you are not too old to do whatever you want in life. I need you to visualize it. I need you to write it down, and I need you to send it to me because we're going to make it happen. I need to tell you something. I am working so hard in my business. I called my mom. My mom is working 2 jobs, you guys. My mom still works 2 jobs. And I called her. I said, Mom, this is the golden ticket. I know what this is doing for us. Thanks for staying patient. I've almost been in this business for 4 years, but I know what it's about to manifest into. Our family is not going to suffer. Our family is not going to struggle. We are going to pay off all that debt. You are going to be free, and you're not going to be full of worry because of freaking money and limitations. It happened. That is the same conviction I had when I first started, and I lost it. And I didn't necessarily lose it because it didn't happen. I manifested into leaving my teaching job and pursuing a life by design. And it has been freaking hard. But then I didn't have a grander vision beyond that. So a lot of times in this business, you're going to set goals and you're going to hit them and you're going to make them. And the scary part is you can't stop there. You have to be obsessed with vision. You have to be obsessed with growth. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because my fear is you, one, don't have a big enough conviction in why in this business. Then you're going to start justifying not getting stuff done. You're going to say you're unplugging every freaking night and still not hitting Success Club. You're going to say that you need to do this and you're not sacrificing time to do more and be more in this business. You're going to start slacking. You have to have a why and a vision that literally makes you be on a call on Tuesday nights, skipping TV shows, and maybe not spending time with the people that you love because you know that you're pouring an hour. I was just having a conversation with Jill Brown today, and I said, it's vital that you just keep sharing your vision. You just got to be transparent with it. When I started this business, it was hard for Eric to see me on my phone all the time. That was my own fault too. Because was I actually working my business all the time? No, and that's a gut check you have to have with yourself. So that's a whole nother story. But 2, what I started doing is I started calling it our business. He didn't know a lot about it. And I said, Eric, when I'm jumping on this call, it's for us. It's not for me, it's for us. I need you to know whatever this is, I have this vision for you. Whatever you want to pursue in life, this is why I'm showing up on this call. This is why I get up every weekend at 4:30 a.m. to this day. And I still do power hours to this day. And I still work my butt off to this day because I have this vision. I let my family in on this vision. If you have kids, you need to talk to them about it and you need to make it alive. They may not believe in it yet, but it takes someone 21 times to hear a vision and a mission for them to actually believe it themselves. Everyone is always really amazed by me and always says things to me of like, Julian, how can you throw a lead out there and say you're going to go elite and you don't even know that yet? I was like, because I need to believe it myself. So when I talk about it, then I'm the type of person that I need to follow through with what I say. Then it's going with shooting 10-star out there because I have this freaking desire to elevate other people's businesses because this has changed my life way too much and it cannot end with me. That I know when people go diamond and beyond, the craziest things start to happen. So I have to elevate and raise the bar myself and put it out there. It's freaking scary saying, hey guys, I want to go 10-star by April 12th. You win. This is why we need to do this. And then once they do that, they start to realize and they see that I'm elevating myself and I'm going to the next level. Guess what they're going to do? They're like, if Julianne can do it, I can do it too. And then they're seeing that I'm in there in the trenches ready to go and to make this happen. You guys need to know what you're in this for. Yes, it's to help people, but you have to make this and not just a you thing. You have to talk about it with your family. You have to explain to them why a power hour is important to you. You have to explain to them. I've had to say no to family stuff. I've been late to dinners at Eric's house on Christmas. I wake up extra early just to get it done. And this has all been through times of going through the hardest times of my life, moving across the country, quitting my job, being in a job I was so stressed out about, struggling personally, all these different things. Last year, Eric and I struggled hardcore with his job, going through a miscarriage. It just keeps going. Life is going to happen. It's going to happen. But I could see beyond it. And it was like, my vision is way too big to let certain obstacles and limitations stop me. So there are real life instances that can rock your world. And then there's also these fake ones that literally, I think, are mainly what are getting in coaches' ways. I feel like it's all of that distracting stuff, the things that aren't actually moving the needle. It's the stuff that's not even a priority in life. And it's not like, do you spend more time following celebrities and watching crap TV and reading magazines that don't help you? Or are you picking up a book and reading something that's going to move your life forward? What justifications are you making to unplug, but you're not even where you say you want to be yet? I understand that's a balance thing, where every day when I got home, 4 to 6, didn't touch my phone the first few years of my business. That was time with Eric and I. We did our workout and we ate dinner together, and then he knew, and I said, from 6 to 9, whatever it is, I need to work the business. And he's like, I get it, totally. But I also set time aside that I wasn't just like chronic coaching. Does that make sense? But you need to also evaluate, like, what is that freaking why? Because when it's so alive in your blood, you'll do anything to get it. And then another point is, call people when you're thinking of them. That call changed my brother's life yesterday. How many times do you think about someone and you don't reach out? That was a huge moment for me yesterday, where I was like, I'm so grateful I just called. You never know what that call will do. And then my last thing was, you're going to struggle. And I know that I talked about that a little bit. I know this isn't like insane content, but I think that it's valuable. And you're going to struggle with figuring out who you are. You're going to struggle with your vision. You're going to struggle with time management. You're going to struggle with finding a way to make this work. You're going to struggle with comparison. You're going to struggle with figuring out the magic secret sauce to hitting Success Club 6 on the 6th. You're going to try so hard to just try to figure it out. But my biggest thing is just don't quit. You got to plug into this community. You have to understand that there's enough success for us all, and you have to believe that you can do it. But if you do not have that why, you don't have that conviction, it's not going to happen. You're not going to want it badly enough. And for me, I was so relieved. Like, the vision in my life has grown so much bigger beyond me. It's not even for my family to help them. It's like for you guys. You should hear Eric and I talk about it. I just got off a call with Kelsey. She's a brand new coach. I'm so excited. It was like a fluke that we got connected. And after the call, Eric's like, that was awesome. And I was like, that literally made me so happy. I'm so excited to work with her. You guys have become my friends and my family. And I just need you to know how much it is on my heart to see you accomplish what you want in life, to raise the bar in your own life, to dream big dreams and actually make them happen. So many people live mediocre lives. So many people settle for average because they're so afraid of failure, or they just keep getting stuck, right? I just know that we're made for so much more, and it's so comforting knowing if she can do it, I can do it. And that was my philosophy throughout these last 4 years. I would look at Sarah Morrison, and I would look at Trina Gray, and I would look at the people on the stage of Summit, and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. It just takes time and consistency, and I'm overcomplicating it. I know it. And it all comes down to authenticity, being raw and real. What in those split seconds in your head was that self-doubt? Why did you feel that? In that split second when you were in the 80-day obsession group, why did you feel defeated? During that workout, were you so fixated and focused on your thighs clapping together? And that has happened to me, and Eric and I have laughed really hard because of how loud those noises would be, right? And being like, it's so frustrating, right? Or thinking like this or that, like your dream team coach members joining the team and then they quit. Like, I've had that happen so many times. You're going to struggle. It's going to happen, but you have to lean in on that. When you feel disappointed, when you are rocked with jealousy, that is a hard thing to admit, especially if you're jealous of your friend that you love, because it's conflicting feelings, isn't it? It's such conflicting feelings, but you need to talk about it. Your avatar is going to connect with you when you can be super real. And again, when Eric's like, are you actually going to share that? I was like, oh my gosh, like how many times do I not realize I don't share things? But then also, how many things do I not share with Eric? Like the self-doubt, lack of confidence, frustrations, moments of anxiety in my head that I keep to myself because I'm embarrassed about them, or I make them not a big deal, or I try to ignore it, or I get frustrated instead and blame something else for why I'm upset, right? Where I was like, I need to be honest, because when I can do that, there's clarity and I'm going to grow from it. And I just need you guys to know I struggle with the same things. And I'm so sorry I've done you a disservice of not being honest with them. My heart and my intentions are good, but I had a big reality check where I was like, oh my gosh, because I was struggling with self-identity. And then I got excited to be a boring person. I got super excited about it because I was like, oh my gosh, it's enough. I'm enough. You're enough. You're enough just as you are in the way that you're growing. I'm really thankful I could share my heart with you tonight, and I just am so thankful that you hopped on. I'm going to hit the end of the recording.